What's going on, Reject Nation? We're gonna watch today from our buddy Warren from Cosmic Wonder, Mephisto revealed in WandaVision poster. Mephisto Easter eggs in WandaVision. Warren's been branching out and doing a lot more of these theory breakdown videos. I've been very much impressed. So I was like, all right, the next one we gotta do, because he's been right about quite a few things so far. Let's get into action, people.
How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and everything relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and where recently we've been looking for and into every single possible clue and hint that we can find in WandaVision to figure out just who is behind everything that is happening in the WandaVision series on Disney+. Now, there are many different theories out there. Of course, I have a lot of my own personal theories.
Mephisto.
But for this video, let's look at what Marvel is actually giving us, what they're trying to hint to us, and what they're trying to actually tell us in these small little details and Easter eggs. Because, after all, like Dottie tells us in WandaVision, the devil is in the details. And that's what we're going to break down today. The details.
Let's go!
If Marvel tells us the devil is in the details, then maybe they're actually, literally telling us that the devil, Mephisto, is in the details. After all, Marvel stuffs the little details with super awesome Easter eggs, so we should be breaking down the little details like we always do, of course.
I do wonder to myself, when Marvel did have that line in there, the devil's in the details, if they knew that everyone would be running with that line, going, is the devil in the is that Mephisto? They must have thought that.
They literally have me down to this point where I'm like, it's either definitely Mephisto or they really want us to think it's Mephisto, and it's definitely not.
Let's take a look at other possible hints and possible Easter eggs for this big red horn guy. Let's start off with a new WandaVision poster that Marvel Studios released yesterday, because since it's been released, everybody has been talking about it, because since it came out yesterday, fans have been doing what we do best, looking at those extremely tiny details. And some fans think that they have spotted the devil himself, Mephisto, right in the middle of the poster. If you take a look right above Wanda's head, between Vision and Agnes's head, we can see a wallpaper background. And right in the middle of all their heads on this background is what some people believe to be Mephisto. And if we zoom in on it, it definitely does kind of look like a devil with horns. But is it Mephisto? It certainly does look like it, but does it just look like it because we're looking for it? Would Marvel really put this so in our face? I wouldn't put it past them. Plus, it is in a very coincidental and convenient spot right next to Agnes, but it is very coincidental that it is right next to Agnes, the person that we believe to be Agatha Harkness and who we believe to be working for the devil himself, Mephisto. But let's take a look at some more concrete evidence. Hexagons. These things are everywhere, and yes, we have been talking about them, but now there's just some new evidence that we can't avoid talking about, and a possible hint at yet another villain who could be in the WandaVision series who is right in front of our faces. Now, when we all first started theorizing about hexagons, I took a step back and thought, well, are we just finding them because, again, we're looking for them? But we know that Marvel does everything
You know what I just realized? Warren's symbol.
Oh my god! You were part of it.
You're
all
Mephisto
along.
this entire
You're Mephisto,
time.
Warren. You're throwing us off your scent.
Sorry, you laugh. I was like, wait a minute. This shape's a hexagon.
I hadn't even thought of it.
The devil's in the details, Warren.
After all, if Marvel is mimicking and recreating old sitcoms in WandaVision, why did they change the Brady Bunch intro from squares to hexagons? Why not just keep them squares? And why at the end of episode 1 did the frame around Wanda and Vision become a hexagon?
We are an unusual couple, you know.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
Now, we could have shrugged these off, but then Marvel slapped us in the face with it in episode 4. In episode 4, S.W.O.R.D. discovered a energy barrier, bubble, perimeter, whatever you would like to call it, around Westview. And this energy barrier that Wanda's magic, or someone else's magic, has set up is in the shape of a hexagon. Now, that is not coincidental. That is done entirely on purpose for a very specific reason.
Amount of hexagons.
We've been talking about how hexagons are a type of symbol for AIM, but I'm pretty sure AIM isn't responsible for this energy field. The reason is, I doubt AIM has the technology to magically change someone's clothes and appearance once they go through this energy field. This has to be magic. It has to be the work of Wanda or somebody else who uses powerful magic.
hold on a second. I do have a theory of how AIM could be actually responsible for the hexagon shape. We do set up AIM in Iron Man 3. Kang the Conqueror had connections to AIM. Kang is supposed to be in Ant-Man 3, the Quantum movie. So I could see a scenario here where if they're setting up Kang the Conqueror, and if he is associated with AIM to some degree, then maybe Kang is probably involved in this in some way. That's just a little theory of mine that I feel like no one's going with, but I don't feel it's that
Throw it out there, G, because then you'll be able to cut back to this when you're right.
This is also something that Agent Wu picked up on as well. He noticed that the perimeter was a hexagon, and on his whiteboard, he even wrote, "Why hexagonal shape?" So clearly this has some specific meaning to whatever is happening in WandaVision.
Not just a common shape.
Of course, as many of you know by now, a lot of people are comparing the hexagon shape to Mephisto because it has 6 corners. And of course,
Satan.
666 is the sign of the devil. And in the MCU, the devil is Mephisto, the ruler of the Hell Realm. But there's also another connection between hexagons and Satan that I haven't really heard anybody else talk about. And that is a connection that they both share, and that is the planet Saturn. Now, this would be an extremely detailed and thought out connection, but I would not put it past Marvel
That's not
Studios
Marvel.
It's into the Greek mythology universe.
In Ant-Man and the Wasp. That continuity is insane, and only Marvel Studios can really think of stuff like that.
Yeah, I know,
but
right?
the planet Saturn actually has a hexagon on it. Scientists discovered this in 1981, and you can see very clear pictures of it. Now, what's really interesting here is that Saturn is actually associated with Satan, and some people actually believe that Satan is Saturn. But the bottom line is there's a connection between hexagons and Saturn and the devil. Now, of course, this could be absolutely nothing at all, and we could just be reaching and hoping for theories to come true.
Reach further.
But again, why?
I don't think so, man. I think I'm hoping that's the case.
That's where Nick Fury was flying to on the ship, was to Saturn.
Saturn, Satan, Saturn, hexagon.
Oh, why did we ever see this before?
I hope that's it, man.
NASA helping out with some viral marketing.
I would love it. I would love it.
The hexagons and why the devil Easter eggs. Why say the devil's in the details, and then Agnes, who we believe to be Agatha Harkness, say that's not the only place he's in. Now, as I mentioned, Marvel
He's on
could be
Saturn.
hinting at another possible villain in the WandaVision series, one that...
Oh, sorry to keep pausing your video. With the fact that we are going more cosmic, if you do link the supernatural side of Mephisto, because that's the thing, is you got the sci-fi elements of the cosmic, then you got the supernatural side with characters like Ghost Rider, Blade. So if you're linking your cosmic world with your supernatural world more clearly in your movies, maybe the Saturn thing works.
Do it, hey, please. It would be an interesting turn and a cool way to work in actual history to the lore, like they are showing they want to do with stuff like Loki too.
Exactly, man. So, I mean, it's probably not the case, but
It's absolutely the case.
another possible villain in the WandaVision series, one that many people may not expect. And again, it's leaning on the hexagon theory, but not necessarily stating that the hexagon means Mephisto. In the beginning of WandaVision Episode 4, we are introduced to Tyler Hayward, or Director Hayward. the
No
director
one's
of
trusted
S.W.O.R.D.
this guy.
In one of the opening
No
scenes
one.
of Episode
I
4,
do.
we see Monica Rambeau go to S.W.O.R.D.'s headquarters and go into Tyler Hayward's office. And some people have pointed out that his pictures are lined up like
even
a
his
hexagon.
carpet!
Some people have also pointed out that his carpet has hexagons
No
on it as
way!
well. Now, if there is truly a connection here, this is very, very interesting, because that would mean there are hexagons within this bubble reality that Wanda and Vision are in, and the outside world. But not just in the outside real world, in the real world, in someone's office who has a lot of power. This could hint that Director
But also
Hayward has some
hexagons
sort
are
of a
just
connection
shapes.
to Wanda and everything that is going on. Now, there are some theories out there that say he is Mephisto himself. However, I don't really think that's the case. It just doesn't seem to line up to me. However, Director Hayward could be a villain in disguise. After this is all
I
been
think
pointed
that's the
out,
case.
I am kind of getting Alexander Pierce vibes from him. Alexander Pierce was in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. He was portrayed to be one of the good guys, being a part of the United States government, S.H.I.E.L.D., and the World Security Council.
Paul
But really,
Newman
he
did
was
such
one
a
of the
good
Hydra
job.
leaders and commanded all of the Hydra forces within S.H.I.E.L.D. undercover.
Gene
Now, it's pretty much
Hackman.
been confirmed that S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point moves to S.W.O.R.D. S.W.O.R.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D. are kind of the same thing at this point. And if Hydra at one point could infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D., it wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that another enemy could infiltrate S.W.O.R.D., especially with the Skrulls introduced into the MCU now, which is also a suspicion of Jimmy Woo because he wrote scrolls on the whiteboard as well.
I think Marvel's at the point now where they're just like, stop building government agencies.
Yeah, no more agencies. They're all gonna have an evil dude at the head at some point. They're all gonna get compromised. There's no point.
Could he be working for Mephisto? Could he be Mephisto himself? According to some theories, he could be. Could he be working for AIM and somehow AIM is involved in all of this? There is no doubt that these hexagons mean something. That is very clear now. Marvel has made that clear. The real question is now, are we actually finding real hexagons that are connected, or are we simply reaching? It does seem like we have discovered quite a few Easter eggs and hints at Mephisto within the WandaVision series. But what do you think about all of these different Easter eggs that we found?
I mean,
be sure to let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news about WandaVision and other MCU content. For live updates, you can always follow me on Instagram and Twitter.
I'm gonna see that now every time.
Look, guys, all right. There was a time where I would say that the hexagon shape is reaching, but it's at the point now where I really don't think it is. Especially with the fact that Jimmy Woo is the first question is why hexagonal shapes. So the hexagonal shapes are obviously very intentional. It's like the same thing can be said for the poster. Like, are you reaching for that poster? Maybe. If it comes out that it is Mephisto officially, then I go, all right, it was in that poster the whole time, you know? If it's not Mephisto, then I'm like, you guys were just reaching. This is one of the cases we've landed ourselves in.
And I feel like it's not also unreasonable to assume that maybe, you know, somebody needs to be watching this from the outside as well as the inside, too, on the Hayward side. So.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. Deal with it. He's Patrick Morgan from freaking Wonder Woman. He's Alexander Pierce. He's them all. Warren, I thought you did a great job on this video, though. I thought it was really wonderfully put together, and I love that you're branching out and doing more of these breakdown vids. I think they're so fun to talk about. Guys, subscribe to Cosmic Wonder if you haven't done so already. Click that notification bell. Hit that like button for us as well. Last but not least, gotta shout out my good friend Michael B. Omni Media. He's been covering a lot of TV shows on his channel, WandaVision being one of them as well. In my notification bells, he's undoubtedly the first one to get them up, which is kind of crazy to me because in his time, they don't premiere until 3 a.m. Eastern time. So that means he's up till 3 a.m. to record his reaction to this, and then he's chopping away right away. 99% of the time, the same thing with Mandalorian, his reactions were up first. He put out this amazing Godzilla versus Kong theory video where this guy really demonstrates how much he knows about the Godzilla monsterverse, like the whole lore. It's pretty crazy. If you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, do yourself a favor and check him out, especially if you're a fan of WandaVision or almost anything Batwoman related.
Batwoman. He's the one guy watching Batwoman.
So guys, give him a follow. Much love to you, Michael. Appreciate all the help you've been to us so far. Catch you guys soon.